First of all, I really want to apologize for my tardiness. I just came in from JFK, and I really don't know what kind of guy is late to his own non-motivational speech. But I had a very good reason. We were delayed because of weather, and while we were delayed and we were in the air, President Obama landed in JFK. And we were rerouted to Allentown, Pennsylvania because we ran out of fuel circling the airport. So I was above here waiting to come down, take a shower, grab my unicycle, show up and speak to all you nice people, but I was actually instead in Allentown, and I just got here literally from the cab. So I didn't really have time to print out my speech that I wrote, so I'm going to, in honor of 44th president, I'm going to use my own teleprompter, so please give me one moment. Alright, this is kind of like a ghetto teleprompter here. Well, really, when I was asked by Gulf Magazine to present a non-motivational speech regarding my battle against the city of New York, I really considered it an honor. I never thought that I would be considered among the ranks of the few, the proud, the men of modest accomplishment. In the past 8 months, I've been catapulted from a moderately well-known juggling, unicycling peanut vendor at minor league baseball stadium in Coney Island to a nationally recognized unicycling sensation. Brooklyn Paper has called me a one-wheeled legend. NBA Hall of Famer Meadowlark Lemon has called me terrible. The Brooklyn Cyclones call me world famous. The New York Daily News call me a bozo. Really, those are some big shoes to fill. Alright, forget that one. Alright. David Letterman said I was something. And Stephen Colbert dubbed me the enemy within. Alright. My story goes to show that dreams can come true if you work hard, believe in yourself, and sue the city you live in for millions of dollars. On the night of December 3rd, 2007, I was peacefully riding my unicycle down the street in Classen Avenue in Bedford-Stuyvesant. It was 3 in the morning, and I was returning... I'm going to explain why. I was 3 in the morning, and I was returning from a juggling gig in Greenpoint. So obviously, when I was at a juggling gig, I had my unicycle, so that makes sense, right? Not so weird, okay. As I approached Madison Street, I noticed 2 police cars sitting there idle. I was pretty sure that was fine when I was doing that, it was legal, and I was also pretty sure that the cops in the 88th precinct over there had better things to worry about than a solitary weirdo riding a unicycle through one of Brooklyn's most notorious and dangerous neighborhoods. As I rode past, I was instructed by detectives in an unmarked car to dismount my unicycle. One of the detectives leaned out the window and sang the first few bars of Entry the Gladiators, which is the famous circus song that goes... I was detained for about half an hour and issued a $10 ticket for a unicycle on the sidewalk, which is apparently an admitted violation because it turns out unicycles are not defined anywhere in New York State legal code. Bicycling is strictly prohibited on New York sidewalks, but bicycles are defined as having 2 or more wheels and being driven by a chain, gear, or a belt. Which unicycle is it? This is a fact I discovered when I went to court to pay my ticket, because the clerk told me that the ticket was dismissed because it isn't illegal to ride a unicycle on the sidewalk. Somewhat emboldened by this knowledge, I continued to ride my unicycle on the sidewalk. I'm an expert unicyclist. I know I'm not putting anyone in danger. I really don't have any concerns about anyone else's safety or my own when I'm riding. I'm not going to hurt any pedestrians or innocent bystanders. I'd often ride past cops and they would either laugh or joke or just playfully taunt me, but never really do anything, never attempt to give me tickets. So, I really thought that this was the end of my legal troubles. Little did I know, it's only the beginning. Last November, I was on my way to my juggling club to practice juggling with my unicycle. It was 8 p.m. and once again, I was on famous Classen Avenue. This time I was only a block from my home. I was pulled over by 2 uniformed cops who ordered me to dismount and demanded my identification. I immediately protested, insisting I had not broken any law. officers, motivated by their need to fulfill their quota, were pretty uninterested in what the law actually said. As they wrote the ticket, a crowd kind of started to develop around. And they were pretty upset about this because I think most of the people in this community have a negative opinion of the cops. Most likely from repeated negative interactions where the cops didn't actually try to help or do anything when things went wrong. I mean, that's kind of how it goes in Crown Heights. So one woman, pretty indignant, exclaimed, "They're giving you a ticket for that? Why don't they, try doing their job?" Responding to the sympathetic crowd, I told them not to worry because I've been through this before. I knew I'd skate because it is not illegal to ride a unicycle on the sidewalk.
In New York City!
New York State! New York State! Now, if you watch the Colbert segment, you'll find out that in some states it is illegal to ride it, but not in New York State. There might be municipalities that it is illegal, but I'm not aware of those. So I told them this isn't illegal and I was going to get off on it, and the cop heard this through the window, rolled it down, asked me to repeat myself. I reiterated this very fact that that I said it was completely legal to operate a unicycle on the sidewalk, and he just said thank you, rolled the window back up, and then when he rolled it back down to issue me the ticket, it said disorderly conduct, obstructing pedestrian traffic. Immediately I protested once again saying, dude, there's no one on the sidewalk. Can you point out the pedestrians that I obstructed? And the officer rather smugly retorted, "It doesn't matter. This is what the precinct is having us do. The ticket will probably be dismissed." I accepted the ticket, but I managed to say that to the officers that they should be ashamed of themselves. Yeah, I said you should be ashamed of yourselves. I didn't break any law, and they knew who I didn't break any laws. Yes. I got a lot of respect for the men and women that put their life on the line for us, but I've long disapproved of the way that cops interact with some of specific communities like Crown Heights and Bed-Stuy. I mean, a few weeks earlier I had been mugged just a block away. When I called 911, they didn't send a cop car because they were like, well, I was like, I got assaulted and mugged, and they're like, are you hurt? And I'm like, well, no, but they didn't do anything. So, I mean, it seems that NYPD as an institution is more interested in low-hanging fruit like, unicycles on the sidewalk and marijuana and stuff like that than actually protecting the neighborhoods and the people who pay their salaries and their bloated pensions. Rather distressed by what I saw as a misuse of police resources, I wrote a letter to Gothamist, which most of you guys probably know as a news blog in New York City that covers all the bike lane crap. I wrote them a letter just complaining about it, and they published my letter in its entirety. It evoked a flurry of responses. One of the responses I got was from my very good lawyer, Mr. Paul Hale, who's sitting in the back. Paul, you want to say hello? Give a round of applause to Paul. He contacted me and said, I think this is a good suit, I want to sue. So I was like, well, it sounds like a lot of fun. It's my lifelong dream to sue the cops, so let's do it.
Marriage made in heaven.
So we went with it. So, it didn't take too long for the story about the $3 million unicycling on the sidewalk ticket to make it to the papers. The story kind of took a life of its own. I was contacted by New York Post, Daily News, NBC, WBIX, lots of people. The story, it seemed like every other day there was a news van coming to my neighborhood. I was getting famous in my own neighborhood because I was the guy who was riding unicycle in front of TV cameras like once a week. I saw you with them. What's going on? Why are you riding? So at this point, at this juncture, I received an email from a producer with the Colbert Report. They wanted to feature me in a segment about unicycling and the law. Yeah, I was pretty much like, are you serious? So we taped for 2 days. Took months for the segment to come out. I was really anxious. I was like, am I going to look good? Am I going to look stupid? I didn't really know. And the segment came out, and much to my relief, I did not look stupid, but looked like relatively smart and articulate. And the segment was a smash success. Everyone said it was great. It was very funny. I thought it was very funny. And literally overnight was transformed into the most prominent unicyclist in the nation and the godfather of the nascent unicycle rights movement. Along the way, I experienced discrimination and intimidation. One of the city's lawyers, who apparently is an uniphobic bigot, wrote that unicycles belong in the circus and not the streets of New York. The argument seemed ridiculous to me because the cop said I should have been on the street and not on the sidewalk. So I don't really know what she's getting at, but it is what it is. Soon after that, a casual acquaintance who happened to be an NYPD officer began harassing me via Facebook. I quickly dismissed his lowbrow, rather inarticulate personal attacks, however, after I discovered his profile on a dating website called datingcycles.com, a website where women bash psychotic men they have dated in the past. I just wanted to throw that in because I thought it was really funny.
What's the name again?
Datingcycles.com. Because it's all hearsay, I don't know, my lawyer, I don't want to mention his actual name, but you know, if you go through the whole thing, you can probably figure it out. Eventually, my lawsuit was dismissed by a Bush appointee district judge. District Judge Brian Cogan, who actually, he did give me a fair shake. He did kind of say, well, you're right, you didn't break the law, you didn't deserve to get the tickets, the cops were kind of dumb, they didn't really know what they're doing, but the law allows cops to be stupid assholes. So, you know, it's called qualified immunity. You can look it up. So, you know, that was kind of the end of that. We decided not to appeal because, like, seriously, come on. Unicycling on the sidewalk. So, although the $3 million really would have been nice, I was going to buy, like, a really tricked out unicycle with, like, chrome rims that spin on it and stuff like that. You know, a sound system subwoofer underneath. But I really felt like I'd won the day. My appearance on the Colbert Report helped catapult my career. Helped secure me a spot on the Late Show with David Letterman also, which was pretty awesome. I didn't talk about the unicycle thing, but I rode my unicycle, and the whole thing helped me secure the spot, so that was sweet. So I really want to say I truly owe a debt of gratitude to the officers who detained me that November evening. Their laziness, ineptitude, and complete lack of professional integrity are the stuff dreams are made of. This past May, I completed my master's degree in Spanish language from Brooklyn College, so I really hope that this tale of this bilingual unicyclist will send the message that anyone can achieve mediocrity through incessant attention-seeking and frivolous lawsuits. Thank you, and that's my speech.